talking week 3 NFL 2025 season. W2Fers back in our lounge. And do I have good news for you? You probably already know if you've looked at the title of this episode. But Matt and I we have been made whole. Okay. We were a broken home made whole tonight.
Daddy's come home.
As Bass Daddy is joining us once again to talk ball. Daddy has come home, and I'm just going to shut up at that. I want to Bass real quick. Do you have anything to say? I mean, now that you're back with us, any feelings we need to go over before we start breaking these games down?
No, not much to say, just other than Daddy's home.
Wouldn't expect anything more or less. And it's perfect because, as our regulars know, we don't waste any time. We're getting into it. Now, we, of course, will be picking all the games. And just as a recapper before we start, week 2, I personally did a little better than week 1. I went 11-5, and that brings my season total to 19 wins, 13 losses. I'm going to guess that I'm maybe in last place, but we shall find out right now. And of course, with Bass Daddy, we're going to use the honor system. We didn't have his picks on record, but we know that he does pick games every week as part of a picks pool. So, listener, as hard or maybe not hard as it is, you're just going to have to trust Bass on this one. What is your record?
I went 11-5 and 12-4. So, 20.
I thought you were just building suspense. I didn't realize it was on Matt.
Right, Matt. I think 23-9. That's a pretty firm.
It happens. I'm not good at math either, yes. So I get it.
I dropped out in grade 5.
As far as my scores, boys, 10-6 last week. So I'm actually in last, 18-14. But that's all going to change this week.
Okay, I'm feeling way better immediately. Thursday night, TNF on Prime. Seems like just me, or is it now an annual tradition that we have to watch the Dolphins and Bills on Thursday Night Football, and we all know how it ends before it's ever teed up. Here we go again. They go to Buffalo. The Fish are a 12.5-point underdog, and we know the story. But I do want to – have either of you guys seen
I heard a little snippet
press conference
of it, and I don't know if it was taken out of context. I surely hope it was, but I don't know. Enlighten me.
I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I don't feel like it was, taken out of context. He basically just tells the reporter, whatever the question was, that like Josh Allen can just do things that he couldn't dream of doing. He, I think to be specific, he said that he can't do half what Josh does as a runner or throw it, just let it fly downfield like he does. And it just had a tonality of like, I just don't feel like I can really go toe-to-toe with this guy. And we already know the Dolphins are down on their luck. Mike McDaniel's seat is hot as any of the 32. Before I saw the clip, guys, I wasn't picking Miami to win this game. It was more so just a cover or not question. And after seeing that, yeah, I mean, Buffalo, they are down a few defensive players. I think Milano, Ed Oliver out to name a couple. But I'm not going to go out on that limb. I'm picking Buffalo to win it 31-17 and just one more week closer to the Dolphins' upheaval. Matt,
no, definitely.
Any other thoughts?
I think that's like the most
or
metaphoric NFL version of, you know what, Tua, he's willingly doing it, just going to go take a seat over there in the cuck chair. All right? Like, what do you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's 100%, dude. And
you can't say that.
Like, how do you have your leader, your quarterback, be like, I can't do half of what that guy can do? It's like, come on, dude. This team is already in the gutter, and no wonder why we paid you. I don't know how much did he get paid. It's probably insane, like $40+ million a year, to say I can't do half. Over 50 for. That's unbelievable. And then in the same token, I was watching The Herd. This is where I heard this. And he was talking about it, and they were like, "Hey, Colin, what are your thoughts on this?" And he's like, I like it. It shows self-awareness. I'm like, no, I don't like it, dude. What are you talking about? I don't want self-awareness in my quarterback like that. You know what I mean?
No, confidence has to be first and foremost. And while we wait for Bass Daddy to get back in the room, this isn't the first time. Like, even with the Tyreek stuff in the preseason, I just feel like too many times Tua doesn't know how to filter. Like, he doesn't know how to do the QB coach speak thing that all the really good ones do, where you basically say a whole lot while saying nothing at all. No, he just speaks what comes to his mind. There's no like I said, there's no filter that deciphers if it really needed to be said or not. No pun intended. And that's how we find ourselves in these spots. And look, I mean, I've looked at the Bills' schedule, Matt. We can kind of see the writing on the wall here. Barring disaster, barring, dare I say, tragedy, they're going. They're going to run their. They have every opportunity to earn the 1 seed. So.
No, I hadn't yet.
And forgive me.
No, absolutely. I'm just going to keep going with that trend because here's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen a team more dead coming out of the jump of a season than this Miami Dolphins team. It's crazy to me. Nobody's got any confidence. Nobody's got any swagger. Everybody just wants to either get traded or leave or get fired. I don't think McDaniels even cares at this point. I'm going to take the Bills to win this game big, 35-17. I'm going to throw it to you, Bass Daddy. What do you think, brother? Is there like an echo going on here?
No echo, but Bass Daddy was froze and he's out again. Well, hey, somebody was telling y'all, I don't know, July about this Dolphins team. I was all over this and kept having to hear.
I heard Peter Schrager say, usually a pretty good analyst. He was saying, he's like, my underrated take that nobody's saying is I think the Dolphins are okay. And I thought the same thing. And so when Peter said it too, I was like, okay, we're on to something here. I was like, maybe they're going to be all right. This is just a lot of, hubbub that's going around. And turns out I don't even understand why they're so bad. I don't even get it. I don't know if it's the Tyreek at the end of the year last year where he's like, I want out of here. Or I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. With the old Buffalo Bills, they look. I was a little concerned about them last week at the beginning against the Jets, but I almost picked the Jets to win just because it seems like in years past, Zach Wilson, he gave it to Allen, I think twice in the same season. Seems like the Jets just had their number in the past, but it just wasn't doing it this year. But with Miami, Matt, like you touched on, they should be a hell of a lot better than what they are. And they just kind of look like shit. I expect Tyreek Hill and Waddle, they're all going to start clicking and have a good game. But I'm definitely not picking against Buffalo at home. It is kind of a cuck thing. That's kind of what I'm kind of getting those vibes as well. That's just, or I don't know if he's trying to flirt or, I'm not sure. But anyways, I've got Buffalo winning this game 31-19.
Well, we're all pretty much on the same wavelength there. And yeah, Bass Daddy, let's keep an eye out for post-game ass slap. To Josh. Be aware.
Or ball stocks.
Hands up. Sunday, we've got a loaded 9-game noon slate, and it starts with the Packers, who are kind of everybody's top team right now. They're going into Cleveland, who are some people's worst team right now. And the result is an 8.5-point spread in favor of Green Bay.
This isn't a terribly tough decision.
Matt, who do you like here?
The Packers look good. Right now, they look like one of the best, if not the best team in the league right now. I know they've been fired up against those opponents that they've had between the Vikings and like I say, the Vikings, the Lions, and Washington. That's who they had. Some tough ones right out of the gate, and they did not come out flat in either one. Before I get into my actual game score, I have heard a lot of talk about, it's no secret that I've been a Micah Parsons naysayer, I guess you would say, in the offseason, saying they should trade this guy. And the way things are going right now, I was wrong. He's looking great, right? Everyone's like, Micah Parsons is the man. This is why he's like Reggie White, et cetera, et cetera. This is why you keep a guy like that, why you pay a guy like that for big-time plays and big-time games. And then I looked at his playoff stats, and I was like, man, let's see what he did in the postseason, right? And I know this is way too early to have this conversation, but I want to get off my chest before I forget. He's got like 8 tackles and 1 sack in 4 games. So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on the Micah Parsons as like the greatest defensive player of all time. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that or not. If not, we can move forward. But
I definitely think that I was never super high on Parsons. I always thought he was, good. But I think him coming into Green Bay might have just been. It's looking like it might have just been the piece that they were needing to possibly completely
it could be right. It'd be interesting to see. And if that is the case, I'll eat my words. And that is what it is. As far as this game goes, guys, I'm taking Green Bay to win this game pretty easily, 30-16. Is Flacco playing? I don't know. I just heard a lot of people calling for Dillon Gabriel.
Is he hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And he scored a touchdown.
Dillon Gabriel, he was in the game last week. I don't really know who's going to be playing quarterback for Cleveland. I don't know if really anybody knows. I don't really know if it's going to matter. And with it, I don't really think it's going to matter here. One thing I do know is Cleveland's defense is they're going to be hitting Love. Miles Garrett is better than TJ Watt. He probably, right now. Without question. I watched some of the game last week. It's crazy. But anyways, I've got Green Bay winning 24-10. Maybe 24-9. Maybe 3 field goals.
Maybe 24-6. I don't know.
Muff punt, and recover it. And I don't know.
Could be.
But, maybe 24-0. I'm not sure. Cleveland's at home. The dog pound it's going to be rowdy probably. But Cleveland will do enough to Judy. They'll hit him on a vertical to flip the field. They'll put a few points up. I'll say 24-10.
Packers 30, Browns 15 for me. So we stay consistent. And for Green Bay, guys, we can see they have the ingredients. The cart has its veggies and fruit and dessert and protein in it. It's can they keep from dropping the shit between here and getting it into the pantry and fridge. And by that, I mean the injury factor. We already saw Jaden Reed. Sounds like, I don't know if he's coming back. He had surgery on his shoulder and his foot. And so to me, that seems like, and I don't know about you guys, as far as proven receivers, he was my favorite receiver on the roster. So that's a concern, but the defense right now looks great. So
I like me a little Romeo.
Yeah, he's good. Little Romeo. Very good player too. So we all take Green Bay, and now we go to the Jets are headed down to lazy Tampa, where Baker's Bucks undefeated for the 5th straight. I mean, obviously not just Baker, but the Buccaneers 5 straight years of 2-0 starts, and super impressive Monday night. Fields concussion protocol. Don't know what the word is there as far as is he going to play or not. I would lean no, and the Bucks are a 7-point favorite. And
I'm not excited about it.
With that being said, Matt, what do you think
the
about
Jets?
this
Look, I think they fooled me. They fooled me last week. And Bass Daddy, no offense, this is no great welcome for you to come back to. The Steelers may have fooled me as well. So I was way too high on them last week. I had them beating the Bills because, like Bad Steady said, they always knock them off. And I was like, yeah, they're going to do it. They got Justin Fields. They're better than they were before. What are you saying, Brian?
I bore that sin as well. I heard Bass Daddy say earlier he almost picked the Jets, but buddy, we went ahead and
we're wearing that
did
on the
it for
face.
you.
And as far as Tampa Bay goes, I think they are going to be that team that they've been in the first 2 weeks where they play close games down to the wire. Baker finds a way, and they get a win late. I don't know if this one's going to be quite as dramatic. I'm going to say probably not, especially if Justin Fields does not play. I'll take Tampa Bay to win this game 27-20.
Okay. Let me see. I'm actually I Tyrod Taylor in. I'm not too sure about the Jets team. Obviously, Quincy Williams. I am a fan of him and Garrett Wilson. But that Baker Mayfield, I'm actually. I wish that the Steelers would have got him. I know Cleveland really wouldn't have been willing to deal him, but I really wish we'd have pursued him a little bit more. With Ibuka and Mike Evans, if Baker's receivers stay healthy, they're going to be a tough team to beat as the season goes on and he gains more chemistry with that rookie receiver. That's going to be a hard team to stop. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Tampa Bay 27-23. I still think the Jets will, maybe score late. But that's what I've got.
And I think the hope, if you're the Jets, is can Aaron Glenn, his culture he's building, get them up off the mat quickly? And then on the flip side, Tampa Bay, short week, had some injuries to some key players. Maybe you kind of catch them on snooze a little bit at noon. But to me, these are the kinds of games that Todd Bowles, the Bucs, have really taken advantage of over the years. So Tampa Bay 30, Jets 20, and they would advance to 3-0 while the Jets would fall to 0-3. All right, guys, this next game, for me, is certainly the best game on Sunday, might be the best game of the week. And I couldn't believe that it wasn't one of the headline games for either network. I don't even know who's calling this one, but nevertheless, back at the scene of the crime, last year's divisional round in the NFC, the Birds, Philadelphia, are hosting the Rams. And the Eagles, 3.5-point favorites, both teams undefeated, so something's going to have to give. As I start out, this one is very, we'll say, pertinent right now. I made the mistake. Look, we are all familiar with our game. And over the years of this podcast, I can't pinpoint the exact moments in time, but there have been times when we've gotten Eagles fans kind of riled up. Okay? We've all been there. I think there was the year that they were, starting to kind of fall apart. That happened. And, I didn't seek it out, but that's how it is with Philadelphia people. You don't have to even be trying to provoke them. They'll just come out of the woodwork, and they're pretty relentless. And this whole tush push thing, guys, I think this is not only the thing to watch in this game, but potentially the rest of the season. Did Roger make the call this week? Did he's been known to do it before, or somebody in that office? Are they finally no, this play, enough's enough? Now they're not even, they're false starting all the time, this and that, whatever. But I had made that point online in a comment section, and I got bombarded with a lot of, typical Philly stuff. And I was just posing the question. And you guys, if you have an answer to rebuke it, that'd be great. But Jalen Hurts, year 6, okay, in his career until this tush push thing really became a thing, before that, he was not viewed as like a good quarterback. He was very much questioned, and it showed up in even a playoff game at one point early in his career. Like, we don't know if this guy can really lead a franchise. Well, my point simply was, doesn't mean that he can't prove it, but he has not yet proven without the tush push that he can lead an offense at a high level. And people say, well, it's just 5 plays a game, or whatever the case may be, 1 yard at a time. Okay, but every time they get the ball and it's 1st and 10, they know they just have to get 8 yards. It's a very different calculus, and I don't think like people think about that all the time. Like, there's no other offense that has this advantage. And so, anyway, I'm rambling, but long story short, I just kind of hope the NFL will at least tighten up this officiating thing, and let's see what happens. Let's just see what they might.
Yeah,
still
no, I mean,
succeed,
I
don't know.
100% echo with
But
what you're
let's see
saying there. Because at the very least, look, if they can officiate it properly, sure. Are they still going to be successful on some of them? Absolutely, they will be. But if you go ahead and give them the opportunity to, false start, jump off sides, whatever, line up over the ball, yeah, dude, it's going to be next to impossible to stop. And, I mean, I don't know. I saw a lot of the discourse saying, well, you know what? Go ahead and ban it, right? You don't think Jalen can get 1 yard on his own anyway? And I was like, I don't know. Not all the time. That's for sure. Because otherwise they would do it a little bit, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. As far as, I think the only people that really like to play is Philly people and people that just don't want to rock the boat and be like, I'm glad they didn't get rid of the tush push because they're the only team that's good at it. And it's like, well, I mean, it's kind of boring that if the offense is built entirely around push and tushies, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just not about that life.
Yeah, I think they should call it a stool push.
Yeah,
because it kind of looks like they're trying to push a stool in. But I don't.
That would be.
I'm looking here. I like McVay more as a coach. I just think that you add up the talent on each side of the ball, all around. Not only is Philly the home team, but I just feel like they're more apt to win right now. I'm going to be pulling for the Rams, obviously, but I've
do
got
you guys
Philly
think
winning
Sean McVay's
29 to
plantar
27.
fasciitis is gonna fasciitis? I don't even know how you say it. Is going to play a role. Oh, okay.
Personally, would be surprised if it did.
He'll be fine. He'll just be standing there.
Could be a flare up. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, boy.
That shit, it's gotta hurt. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. To me, Philly fan out there who's mad, I think it's coming from a place of insecurity. We all have eyes. We've all seen this passing game through 2 weeks. And if you can barely get 100 yards through the air, there's got to be at least some concern about what happens if we can't just run it through our own ass week in and week out on every short yardage play. Yeah, I'm picking the Rams, and it's not even just out of spite. I think they match up well. I think it showed in the playoff game last year, and they probably should have won that game. And I just think they're the better team right now. So give me the Rams.
I definitely hear what you're
21
saying there.
equals 17.
I do think Philly is very susceptible. The only thing that has kept them from losing both of these ball games pretty much has been the tush push and CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball and Travis Kelce dropping the ball. So, in saying that, if the Rams can limit the mistakes, and I don't know, maybe they officiate the tush push, I give them the edge. And you know what? Screw it. I'll give it to them. I'll give the Rams the edge. Give them 23-20. It's going to be weird. People are going to be upset. People are going to be upset about this podcast. I don't care. Rams win.
All right. Atlanta goes to Carolina. Falcons, 5.5-point favorite. Coming off a huge win. I really didn't think there was much of any chance that they would go into Minnesota on Sunday night, home opener for the Vikings, and win. And not just win, but kind of control the game. There's a separate conversation to be had about the team they played, but great draw, as you try to build a winning streak with these Panthers who look like they went back in the time machine and are complete shit once again. So without further ado, give me the Falcons 27-20. And the Panthers are just that team. They are that team that you want to see on your schedule. I don't think they're turning it around,
huh? They're
once
done.
again.
Okay. I like that.
They're going to play a lot of really tight games.
I'll just piggyback on that, and I'll agree with you. Michael Penix, not bad. Great yet? No. But could he be? Maybe. 31-17, Falcons get this win.
How much longer, if it hasn't happened already? There needs to be an over-under on FanDuel or wherever in the Vegas sports book, an over-under for the amount of time it's going to take for a reporter to announce penis, Michael Penis, or you know what I mean, live on the broadcast. I really wanted to pick Carolina here, but looking at Atlanta's defense, their defense looks pretty stout. The running game, it's just a lot. It's too much for Carolina. Probably going to be a little too much for about everybody in their division. But I've got Atlanta 26, Carolina 19.
Clean sweep. Okay, we'll keep it moving. Another divisional game. The Colts, Daniel Dimes in his revival. Will it continue? They go to Tennessee, who actually might be just as good of a draw as the Panthers. Colts 4.5-point favorite, and I've heard, and I've even been someone who's maybe posited it, that are the Colts this year's Saints of last year. They're paper tigers for just a couple weeks. Well, maybe, but if you want to extend it at least to a third 100%, week,
man.
Nice little recipe.
The only thing the Titans really have going for them right now is we're just living off of that cross the field, across the body throw from Cam Ward, right?
I have great concern. I know I picked them to make the playoffs, and it was kind of a dart throw. But after seeing how things have begun and thinking back to last year, I'm just really questioning at this point the head coach. I don't think they have the guy to lead the franchise, and that sucks if you're Cam Ward because you're a rookie number 1 pick. Like, you don't want to get into that hamster wheel of having to get a new offense every year. But I have a feeling that's where this is headed after what we've seen so far. They have had a hard schedule, though. I should, a fairly hard schedule. So that's true. I guess they could win this week, and I'm going to be right back on it. Like,
go ahead, Bass.
South. Sorry, I'm thinking. I was actually had Indy picked to win this game, but they're getting a new stadium, right? Tennessee.
Yeah, I think it's a couple years out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know, but that one throw by Cam Ward, I was watching, had it on Red Zone there, and it was absolutely insane. But Bryan, you hit on the whole leadership, pretty much probably from the ownership down. They probably really need to clean house and do good by their rookie number 1 pick, and I've still got them winning this game. If it would have been in Indianapolis, I wouldn't have. Actually picked Indy last week just because, Denver coming in there. But it's hard to win there. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and ride with Tennessee this week, 28-21. And I say Daniels comes out and he throws maybe 3 interceptions. He just comes out and you think he's looking great right now. You know what I mean? But all quarterbacks have those games where they look like shit. Mm-hmm. We don't get those very often from the good quarterbacks. But even Kirk Cousins had those games against teams he shouldn't have. And I don't think Daniel Jones is much different.
As I kind of like the trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit. And if I hadn't been stabbed in the dick so many times by Callahan at this point, I would be the one right there by your side. But I guess if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm picking the Colts to win at 24-21. So I am letting the Titans cover.
Yeah, no, here's the thing, guys. If you're trying to catch a falling knife.
That's what I
falling knife with this Indianapolis Colts team, Daniel Dimes is going to catch it and slit your throat, brother. What? Why do you have a knife on hand?
I don't know. Listening audience. I'm not sure. It's not my house.
For our listening audience, Bass Daddy very
where you at? You staying at Dexter's place? What's going on here?
A kitchen knife. Is he Dexter? Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, very interesting.
You be careful.
Yeah, no. With that said, though, yeah, Daniel Dimes will take it to you, and I think he's going to do it again here, guys. He's adding that stability that the Indianapolis Colts needs. And here's the thing, guys. I'm kind of thinking. Hear me out. This is a Jim Irsay season in honor of Jim. They just keep rolling for a while, and they're going to do it right here, 24-17. The Colts get it done. We love our Colts.
All right, perfect. Going to Washington, where the Redskins potentially will have Marcus Mariota under center. It's still not official, but we know Jaden Daniels dealing with a knee sprain. The Raiders, could be worse if you're the Commanders, like as far as the teams, not only the quality, but the fact that it's an AFC team. Those are generally going to be more inconsequential in the standings. The spread right now, Commanders -3.5. So I don't really know if that's like with or without Daniels. I'm not sure if they even know yet. But guys, I honestly, regardless of who plays, whether it's kind of a hobbled Jaden or what I believe is going to be Marcus Mariota, I'm picking the Raiders to win this game. Surprisingly, perhaps, just kind of feel like you said it a bit ago, Bass, like quarterbacks have really bad games sometimes. Gino had his Monday night, and I don't see him like doing that again right now. So I feel like it'll be good enough, even if it's not a great performance, it'll be good enough to win a game against, again, who I believe is going to be a backup quarterback. Plain and simple. That's all I got for it.
Well, I'll go ahead and piggyback. I agree with you, and I seen a picture of Tom Brady up in the booth during their last game in the coaching booth with a headset on, and he looked pissed. So I'm going to assume that he's probably going to be at practice this week, maybe a day or two, or he's going to be having conversations with the OC, or I'm not sure, but I don't expect them to look that way offensively this week. And Crosby's obviously, he's a freak of nature. He's going to be in the backfield also. But I'm going to take Vegas to win.
Let's talk about it. It's a talking point going around the league right now. What about the conflict of interest? You got Tom Brady talking to the teams in preparation for his broadcasting duties, but then we find out he's also in the booth with the coaching staff helping get the Raiders up and going. What do you think? Do you think it's fair? Do you think there should be some sort of rule implemented here? What do you guys got? Any takes at all?
When I saw it live, I mean, I feel like your gut reaction says a lot. When I saw it live, I was like, I don't know about this. Like immediately, didn't take really much time at all to feel that. But then again, if you're an NFL head coach, you have to be smart enough. And maybe that's the problem is Tom talks to more than just the head coach. He talks to players, coordinators. It only takes one guy to maybe give that sliver of information that, for whatever reason, just they didn't mean to, or maybe they did and they didn't think about it properly. So do I think it's going to really make a huge difference? Probably not, Matt, but just on principle, I'm kind of out on it. I think that, and for one, I just don't buy like Tom Brady as a Raider, if you will. Like it just doesn't. We've seen too much in other places, and I don't buy it. Like it legitimately doesn't register for me. I don't feel like he wants them to win. I just think he wants the money, and
I just feel pretty hot.
That's my hot take there, I guess.
Well, I feel like you're right. He wants the money, but I feel like at the same, he'll get a lot more money. I feel like if he brings them to a point to where they're winning in the playoffs. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if he cared about money, I think he would have invested it in a different place, or some, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I don't mind seeing Tom Brady lose. As many times as he's, stuck it up the Steelers' assholes, if you will. I don't mind seeing him.
I hear what you guys are saying here. And here's the thing.
With that.
I don't love it. I don't love it just because, first off, we know Tom Brady's past, New England Patriots. We know all his Deflategate stuff. He's not above cheating, right? He's just not. That's what he does to win, and this guy loves to win. He loves the glory of things, right? He loves to have that ego stroked, man. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it at all. I think they need to do something about it, probably. With that said, I'm going to say Jaden Daniels does play, perhaps, maybe at least a half. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't run at all. He just slings the pill. 26-20. Was not impressed with the Raiders on Monday night.
No, it was a pretty embarrassing performance for their home opener, indeed. And so with that, guys, we go to the next game. This one being called by Nance and Romo, and I think that just kind of speaks to the fact that a week ago we would have saw this on the calendar and been like, that sounds pretty fun. Like, that sounds like that could be a really exciting, tight game. I'm talking about the Bengals at the Vikings. Two teams that, one coming off a literal devastating loss, the other coming off of not a loss in terms of the game, but an even bigger, gut punch in the grand scheme of things, of course, with Joe Burrow. Seems like it's going to be at least 3 months, and you start kind of mathing that out, and it feels like odds are better than not that we maybe have seen the last of Joe Burrow this year, unless he makes, a Superman type of recovery. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of sense in him playing again. Anyway, at the Vikings, Carson Wentz starting for them. Rumors, J.J. McCarthy, high ankle sprain, but I've heard things like this might have been a soft benching, kind of like a reset thing, which seems wild, but could be true. Jake Browning on the other side for the Bengals. The Bengals are a 3-point underdog.
Yeah, no, tough break for the Bengals. That is tough, and it's it's a shame. I don't like the Bengals. I'll be the first one to say it, but nobody likes to see the other team's star quarterback go down because if not even for anything else, entertainment value. Any Bengals game now is just like Bengals with Jake Browning. Anyway, on the other side of the coin, J.J. McCarthy, I heard the same thing you did about the soft benching. What is the terms of the soft benching, and what does that mean? Do you come back if Carson Wentz sucks? Do you come back regardless? Like, I don't know how the terms of a soft bench works.
High ankle sprain too. It's like you're not committing to just like 1 week. You're saying that if this is real, you're like at least 2 weeks, maybe 4. And maybe we should have saw it coming. It was kind of weird when they made the Wentz move at the very end of the preseason. Like it seemed evident they wanted a guy who had legitimate experience and upside. That probably should have sounded the alarm a little bit on JJ. Still young, only 2 starts, but he has played some god-awful football outside of 1 quarter in Chicago.
Sorry, brother.
I think that no, I just think that they say like 2 to 4 weeks, but I think it really. I mean, if Carson Wentz comes out and plays good football against one of the worst defenses in the NFL at home, I don't know. I mean, he would have to play pretty good. I don't know. I think they might go off his performance. But I would say McCarthy, I'd say they could probably have him back in a week. But I got them winning this week. I think Cincinnati, they have the best offensive weapons. But they have the shittiest offensive line, and seeing how much Burrow struggled before his injury, I'm not a big fan of the Bengals, but I think that Burrow is probably a better quarterback than Browning. One thing I do like about Browning is his wife or girlfriend, if they're still together. Remember her? They showed her in that old white outfit that one game. I still think about her some nights before bedtime. But anyways, Browning's not. He just doesn't. He don't have enough time to get it to those weapons. And here's something else. The last Steelers defensive coordinator before the shittiest one in the league that we have right now, at one time was Brian Flores. Now he has one of, if not the best defenses in the NFL. Those guys look pretty good. They're hitting hard, and he just seems like he's running a good group there. I think they're going to be pretty much railing Browning. They're going to have him bent over, I'm afraid. 27-16, Minnesota wins. That's a hard place to play at also.
I'm with you, Bass. I've got the Vikings 21 and the Bengals 16. Is Wentz good? No. Is he kind of entertaining? Yeah. And if nothing else, I think he can sling it to JJ, etc., and just make a couple plays, and that might just be enough. Given that what you just said about the defense that Minnesota presents.
I guess Aaron Jones is out. That's something I guess.
Fellas, here, I'm just going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Let me just go ahead and set the stage for you so you can be prepared for Sunday. Here's what's going to happen. I'm calling it here. You heard it here first. J.J. McCarthy, early bust. He's done. He's out. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I thought he was going to be better than that. I'm writing him off after 2 games. Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold 2.0, boys. This is the guy Kevin O'Connell's been wanting to get his hands on. He's like, yes. Someone else that can rehab and make a perennial starter. Probably going to break it off in some team next year. And that's how it's going to play out. 20-16, Carson Wentz gets it done.
What? Okay, what if it's another Vikings curse? Like whenever Bridgewater went down and Keenum came in, and the whole miracle was Stephon Diggs, and then he ended up being like a number 2 the next year, but I think behind
Kirk.
I don't know, behind Kirk, yeah. But here's the thing, like we talked about earlier, all quarterbacks, they have they have those really good games.
Mm-hmm.
What if Wentz comes out and throws like 4 or 5 touchdowns against this shit defense, and then they leave him in, and then 3 quarters to the season, he just starts sucking ass, goes on like a 4-game tear.
Bass, if it happens, it's like KOC is going to, at some point, he's just going to get confused, and the goal for him as head coach is not going to be to win games. It's just going to be like, can I get this, broke dick quarterback who seemingly didn't have anything left? Can I earn them a monster contract from somebody else? Like, that's going to be his agenda every year, is just finding that next guy. If this happens with Wentz.
KOC is, if Wentz puts up 2 touchdowns on that second touchdown, KOC is going to bust.
I could see it. I'm for it. I'm on Team Wentz here.
Okay, we'll keep it going. Hey, it's about time. The Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Patriots. Something about these 2 teams, you see them matched up. It brings back some old memories, but the reality is none of the players are the same on either team compared to, I think, the memories that they can kind of bring back. Nevertheless, 1-1 each. Steelers are a 1.5-point favorite right now as road warriors. Bass Daddy, I'm going to give it right to you, man. You're the Steelers guy. What are we thinking? Where does the state of this team sit, and can they go on the road and get this win?
The season's really young. It's still in diapers. And from what I've seen over the past few weeks from the Steelers, Rodgers, he's still not looking too bad. He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's not obviously not as mobile as what he needs to be, but his arm, he's still throwing the ball. He had a great throw on the run to Freiermuth that went through the hands, but our O-line sucked. We have a couple third down backs. We truly don't have a number one. I don't feel like we don't have a number two receiver. We're going to have issues when safety's over top or helping double Metcalf, but we're not going to have that good number two against those good defenses that you need to win the big games. But and I will say defensively, Steelers, I think, are probably one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst. And it's been against the New York Jets and Fields and against Sam Darnold in our home opener. Two terrible performances. We gotta limit that, but it's a scary game. I'm not gonna pick against Pittsburgh, but I think Drake May is a good young quarterback. They're at home. It's gonna be a hard game, but I think if Rodgers plays good, smart football, which he does know how to do, and he makes the right reads at the line of scrimmage, he's going to be able to play game manager. And I think our defense comes out with a little bit more to prove after being humiliated, hopefully, the first 2 weeks. And they have been, and I'm humiliated as a fan because I've been telling everybody I truly think that this is the best defense we've had since that 2008 defense. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I think that they come out a little bit more aggressive and cause a little bit more chaos, hopefully. Pittsburgh wins 23
Yeah,
to
Bass said, if
13.
you're going around telling people this is the best defense the Steelers have had since 08, the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh fashion are making you look like a real jagoff. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. It's self-harm is
They're making me really want to hurt myself
in this scenario. No, I don't know what to make of it, man. I was a Pittsburgh believer. I still don't know what to make of it. Maybe they are still all right. I don't know. But I'm leaning towards no. And the reason why I tell you, oh, he's got the knife. Okay. We'll call the authorities. But the thing is, dude, Aaron is starting to pull Aaron stuff again already, in my opinion. I'm talking about like off the field stuff. You know, I understand. I didn't see the play. I don't know the nuance of everything. The Calvin Austin thing, where he's kind of in the pressers, you know, letting a rip on him. You know, he should have did this, should have did that. And I just don't love that. I don't know, Bass. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm sure it's still like a honeymoon phase for you.
I didn't see it. I haven't had I haven't been able to. I'm a little behind this week. But if he is doing that, then I'm gonna trust you. I consider you a valuable source. I agree with you. I don't like that. But if Calvin Austin,
fair as well.
If he fucked
in
up,
saying that, I don't know.
I don't talk to him.
I don't want to give up on Pittsburgh just for Bass Eddie's sake, but this game, I've got the Pats winning 24-23. No. Yes, Pats, 24-23. I'm sorry, Bass. I hate to do it. I hate to welcome you back with a Pittsburgh loss, but we got to do what we got to do.
Point of concern would be going back up to the Northeast for a noon kickoff. Can they shake whatever the hell the feeling was that got them in trouble? At least on the defensive side when they played the Jets. Of course, they still found a way to win the game. But I think maybe y'all are catching the Patriots at the right time. And what I mean by that is I do think Vrabel is building something, but it's still a long ways from home. Offense is still figuring things out, even his defense, you know. Now they are, I believe, getting their cornerback Gonzalez. He might be back in the lineup, and that would be a big deal as you get ready for like a DK type of thing. But I don't know. I think the Steelers, they're gonna find a way. I don't know that it's gonna be pretty. And
Never is.
Yeah, well, and it don't have to be, but this is a game when you're trying to make a playoff run or the playoffs in general. You'd really like to get this one in the bag. So
yeah,
I think Tomlin finds a way. Steelers 24, Patriots 22. Nail biter, Bass Daddy.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be pretty close.
All right, last game of this monster noon window. Texans 0-2, going as a 1.5 point underdog to Duval to take on their rival Jaguars, who are 1-1. And quite frankly, even though I didn't get to see any of the game live last week, it seemed like Jacksonville had every opportunity to stay unbeaten, and they just found a way, whether Trevor turning the ball over too many times or what have you, they didn't get it done. And so even though they're not winless like the Texans are, I feel like this game is massive for both teams in their pursuit of an AFC South championship. And it'll be interesting to see, can the Texans bounce back from really was a heartbreaking loss Monday night at home? And can that offense just find really any steady footing at all, Bass Daddy?
There's flashes here and there from Chubb,
Nico,
and company. Yeah, and but it still looked like C.J. Stroud. Man, where did they go wrong? They really took a few back steps. CJ's first season, whenever they made that stride and really got in the playoffs, I was thinking, shit, this is the new team to worry about here in the AFC. You're going to be there with the Bills and the Cincinnati and Kansas City every year in the AFC. And they're kind of just looking like dog shit. And I do think that they get things rolling. As soon as they do find a little bit more steady footing, they're going to be in good shape because their defense, with Danielle Hunter on one side and Will Anderson on the other, Stingley, they got a great defense that's going to be able to keep them in games and force turnovers. And I think that that's what they're going to do here against Trevor Lawrence. And I got Houston winning 30-13.
Hey, and real quick, you mentioned thinking like they were going to be in that heavyweight discussion of the AFC. They have the best defense, I think, of the group. So it's like even if their offense didn't get better from that first year, if they just didn't go backwards, this would be a team that could compete at the top level. And Matt, I think a key underrated storyline after a tumultuous year for Trevor last year, Aziz Al-Shaair, once again, they line it up across from each other. Is that in the Prince's head? Does Shaair try to terrorize him and put his head on a platter? And I really hope not. I don't care for that style of play, but it is something that he did. We saw it, we know it, and I'll be interested to see how it factors in. Actually, before we get to Matt, I'll just go ahead and make my pick. I think that this is going to be a frustrating win for the Texans. One where that elite defense wins the day. The offense continues to leave a lot to be desired. And I do think the main issue is Stroud is just doesn't trust his pass protection, nor should he for the second straight year. It's a real problem, and I think it has a ripple effect that results in low point outputs. So Texans 20, Jaguars 14 is what I'm going to go with, Bass.
Yeah, having a good offensive line you can trust really matters, because previously watching Jaden Daniels play, I think we were texting back and forth during that game, and I was just like, Jaden Daniels, he looks uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you don't have a good offensive line and you get hit a few times by some of those big motherfuckers, especially as a smaller guy like that, you don't forget about that the next play. It's probably hard to shake off getting hit by one of those guys. So if you're not trusting that offensive line, it's going to be hard no matter how good you are. And I think that we're going to, obviously Stroud's struggling with that. Matt, what do you think? You think CJ Stroud is going to be
I
able
gotta be
to
honest with you, man. I haven't
bend
loved Stroud's
the
playing for
Jaguars
about
over?
a season and 2 games now. Had him last year on the fantasy squad. That was the bane of my team's existence right out the gate. As far as Houston goes, I like their defense. Kind of hate their offense right now. The X factor for me in this ball game here is Trevor Lawrence, right? Is he going to be Prince Charming or is he going to be Lord Farquaad? And the difference there is going to determine the outcome. I'm going to take the Houston Texans to win this game 23-20. And the thing is, I don't even think the Jags are bad. I don't, but they kind of have that Cleveland Browns type vibe to them, to where they're just going to blow it any chance that they have to make a meaningful play.
It really confuses me how a coach can go in, a head coach can go into a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like Doug Peterson did.
Mm-hmm.
And then go to a different franchise and look the way and coach the way he's coaching and allowing this stuff to go on. Or you get what I'm saying? I don't understand how that bad, or I don't think, like, how? I guess he's not in Jacksonville anymore. I get, okay.
Yeah. But
still, okay, I know, but that just made me think, he got fired, obviously, from Jacksonville, but
it's a good
for the
point
same
today.
shit.
It was a great point last year.
Right. Oh. My bad. Fuck him. Fuck that bitch.
No. Yeah. No. Okay. I think we all made our picks. So afternoon games.
I forgot about, the coach, like the Duval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
All right.
salvaged it.
Hold on. Real quick. I haven't talked to you guys in a couple weeks. I know we got to get through this, but I got to say one thing. I was just talking about this the other day. How unprofessional is it that his wife, fiance, whatever they are, how unprofessional is it that she's down on the sideline during the game? How many times at a college level or even at a high school football level have you seen the coach's wife on the sideline or girlfriend? Or that's just so, like, cringe and immature. Just a bad look. Like, why you get what I'm saying? Am I crazy for thinking that? Or why?
No, you're not, Bass. But I honestly didn't even know, Matt. I didn't know that she was down there during the games. This is news to me.
Yeah. Have to look it up. Yeah. During the game, she was like down on the sideline and she like walks up to him and says something. It might have been like after like the first quarter or something, but regardless. And like she like turns around and walks off, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? But anyways, that's all I've got. We can move on.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. Perfect segue into the afternoon window. Seattle back at home. They are hosting the Saints. The Seahawks a 7.5-point favorite. And look, I don't have really anything to say about the Saints, and I'm pretty sure it's going to stay that way for the rest of the season. But the Seahawks, I continue to just tip the cap to their defense. I feel like their defense is probably one of the best 7 or 8 in the league right now. And I expect that to show. And that's why I'm picking them to win 34-13. Absolute ass blowout. And then somewhere in there, I'm projecting a defense or special team score that really just puts it away.
Where's that game at?
It is in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going against probably I didn't really feel comfortable doing this, but I don't think Seattle's that great. I think Sam Darnold's another one of those dudes that he made the Steelers defense look that way because of how shitty our defensive play calling was. The things he was doing, I mean, the receivers being wide open. I think that Seattle plays a little better football. I don't think Spencer Rattler's anything to write home about, but I think he does just enough to set them up with a game-winning field goal. I'm going to say New Orleans wins 24-23.
Dang, that's a good little ball game you got there. No, I don't know what to make of it. Seattle seems to be a decent club so far this season, and I don't know. Like you said, maybe it just came down to poor malpractice on your D coordinator's part. As far as New Orleans goes, they've had a little fight in them so far this season. They're not been quite as bad as I expected. But as far as that goes, who that going to beat them Saints? I think it's everybody. So Seattle gets this win. I'm going to take 29-18.
Okay, we keep her moving forward. Guys, this next game, I think, is certainly one of my favorite three, probably of the week. Denver goes to SoFi, take on the Chargers. Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite and pretty straightforward. You know, the Chargers are in this front running position. Granted, it's only week 3, but this is new to them. This is new to Justin Herbert, I would say, like leading the division by multiple games. And it is games like this where if they want to continue to keep this separation from not just Denver, but obviously the Chiefs, as the year goes on, you have to take advantage of games like this. You have to win them. Doesn't matter how it looks. Khalil Mack, he's going to be out on injured reserve for a while with the elbow. We'll see how that plays. And Denver, of course, has been a little bit of an up and down start to their year, 1-1, and I think they feel a sense of urgency too to not just play better, but win this type of game. You know, for them, it's a huge one if they want to stay in that conversation of winning the West. So, Fast Daddy, how are you feeling about this ball game?
I think it's going to be an exciting divisional matchup here. And for me, it didn't really come down to home field advantage as much because I don't really think you get a home field advantage when you play in LA. Or, I mean, if you're the Chargers, I guess. But also, it came down to coaching for me. Which coach I thought maybe I trusted more, and kind of what quarterback I trusted more. And that being the Chargers. I think that Hampton, he's getting off to a slow start. But luckily, it hasn't really mattered. Keenan Allen being such a great safety blanket for Herbert. McConkey obviously being great. And that Johnston is a great player as well. I don't even know how they're stacked up in terms of a 1-2-3 on that. Mm-hmm. But it's got to be the best trio probably in the league, I would think. I can't really think of another trio.
Playing that way.
Right. So I think with Herbert also being able to use his legs, I think the Chargers are going to be a tough team to beat in the AFC for all of us. But I've got the Chargers winning this game 31-27.
Fast Daddy, for all the same reasons, you know, I found this to be a really challenging one to pick, but I go, okay, which quarterback do I trust more? No doubt it's Herbert right now. And even on the coaching side, I give Harbaugh a slight edge. Now, the Mac thing matters, I think. You know, he's certainly the best player on that D line, and you hope that doesn't show up too badly. But I am picking the Chargers to win at 24-20, even though
Yeah,
they
no, I think
probably
you guys make
serve
a lot of
the
good
Chiefs
points.
better
LA,
if
they've
they
been
did
looking good. I think
that.
they've been looking like what, arguably a top 4 team in the AFC, perhaps, maybe top 3, maybe top 2 right now. I don't even know. But as far as that goes, it'd be interesting to see how it goes down the season, see if they're able to keep that same momentum, see if they can keep passing the ball. They kind of were able to coast in the second half of that game on Monday night. As far as Denver goes, good defense, right? But a thing that we've said at the beginning of the season, and I still believe it, Bo Nix, I'm not a believer. I'm just not. I think maybe by the end of the season, they're going to be thinking, maybe this ain't our guy after all. I'm going to take the Chargers. They get it done 27-20. Herbert's just able to elevate.
You're on mute, Bryan.
All right, guys, sorry about that. No, big game of the week on Fox is at Chicago, where the Cowboys are coming to town as a 1.5-point favorite. And it feels like one where both teams kind of desperately need it. Obviously, Dallas has played a lot better football than the Bears have, but that being said, you can't lose to the Bears and expect to be like in the NFC playoff hunt for very long. So, and of course, we all saw, Chicago giving up 50 points to Detroit. It's like one step forward, 2 steps back with that team, whether or not Caleb plays well or not. So, simply put, Bass Daddy, I'm taking the Cowboys to win. I've got it by a score of 31-24, and my feeling there is Dak's just playing really well right now, and so in a battle of he versus Caleb, I'm trusting him far more to score, that extra touchdown or two that might be needed.
This was probably one of the hardest games for me to pick this week. It might have been the hardest game just because it's in Chicago. And Chicago's a tough environment. I can hear fans chirping right now, those Chicago fans chirping, and I can see Pickens getting in a fist fight with a guy, in the first row in the end zone, and getting ejected. I can see it being one of those games, but I look at how Dak's throwing the ball. I look at CD, obviously Pickens, and they have potential to be a pretty good team. It just seems like they just keep fucking up every week. The look on Jerry's face, it showed him last week whenever the game was like, we're so close. And you could tell that he was just like happy afterwards, but he was still like kind of pissed. His eyes were like bloodshot, and he's just like he just knew that his club shouldn't be in that close of a game with Russell Wilson and those Giants in a divisional matchup. Like, with all the stuff that they've done, trading away the best defensive play, they shouldn't be neck and neck with the New York Giants. But I think it's going to be enough to get it done against Chicago. Man, Ben Johnson looking like complete fucking dog shit as the head coach of the squad. I know it's still early, but just looking like complete shit. Give me Dallas. I think they're going to win by just a point, 28-27. Maybe a kick, maybe Brett Maher kicks a 69-yarder for the win.
Is he in the league?
Brandon Aubrey.
Your analysis is from like 2023.
I'm just going to keep naming random players.
No, I love it though. Other than that, I think it was pretty spot on.
I'm still in.
Yeah, no, interesting game. I think it's going to be a wild game. So last week, I bit back in on Chicago. I was like, Ben Johnson, he's going to find a way to adapt and overcome the Detroit Lions out of revenge and spite. And the problem is, guys, I think he's come to the realization, I've come to the realization, a lot of America has. I think Caleb Williams actually just sucks, right? He's got all the weapons. He's got the coach now. I just don't think he has it. I think he's got a gun on him. I just don't think he makes the right decisions. No, I'm about off on him. But here's the thing. Like you said, Dallas's defense, kind of trash. I think they're going to put up some points this week. But Dak puts up enough. And I don't know. Maybe he throws the ball to Terrell Owens. 32-30. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win.
Same number, right? Is that or no 80? Shit, I was thinking Des Bryant.
No, I had to do it. I'm sorry, Vince.
You're good.
Well, yeah, and to the whole Jerry thing. I mean, you let Russell Wilson in 2025 throw for a quarter mile on your defense, and it's like he was probably dreaming of old players too. Best day, he was dreaming of the '90s. Probably whenever you saw his face.
Yeah, anyway. I think that's him again.
Yeah. No, Jerry Jones is probably thinking about how big that 8.5-inch head or what. Remember that audio recording of Jerry Jones talking about how big the dude's dick was at practice?
I had forgot about that, and I would have never thought of it again if you didn't bring that up. Thank you.
We need to get a clip of that real quick. We need to get a video and play that clip. We need to make that a video.
No question.
Just to bring that back up. That'll get some good views.
Matt, you're on it. All right, so we all hammered that out. We got one more for the afternoon games. Arizona 2-0, but questionable who they've played. Sure, they go face the other 2-0 49ers team. A little questionable who they've played. Neither here nor there. They're here now, and one of them has to win and continue their undefeated run. Niners are a 2.5-point favorite, and as we currently stand, Brock Purdy seems like has a shot to play on Sunday. He's practicing in at least a limited capacity, maybe feeling a little bit of pressure, to not that it's necessary. I mean, he just got broke off. It's not like Mac Jones is taking his job, but I do wonder if, or maybe he just genuinely feels like he can play and play at a high level. Guys, this one here, I probably feel like the least confidence of any game picking. I've seen over the years, even when the Niners were good, like the Cardinals typically have given them a hard time and have even beaten them in games. But here, I look at what the Cardinals have done so far. I haven't been impressed. I've been more impressed by San Francisco, especially on the defensive side. Still yet, though, I look at what the Niners are dealing with, the injuries, and I am going to go ahead and go with the Cardinals. I think maybe Kyler just neutralizes that defense a little bit with his speed. 22-20 is my score. Cardinals win and stay unbeat.
I got the Cardinals winning also. I think that Lonnie went out to New Orleans to watch the Cardinals Saints game week 1. And he said he's been to I think about every NFL stadium. And he said that New Orleans has been the loudest one that he's ever been to now.
Really?
He said it was absolutely insane how loud it was in there.
With a Spencer Rattler. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
That's crazy, yeah. The crazy thing is the team. I mean, it used to be that way with Sean Payton, I know, and Breeze, but wow.
Yeah, he said it really shocked the crap out of him. But anyways, also I've seen how Kyler Murray was just dressed when he showed up to the game a couple weeks ago. I don't know. He's wearing like a pink sweater with some capris, some jean shorts that were down to his ankles. Looks like he might have a slight mental disability. Still can't get past that. But I still think that he does enough to get past the 49ers this week. I got him winning 27-23.
Wow. All right, fellas. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I feel like the Cardinals, not a bad club, but they're always flirting with blowing games. And San Fran, I don't even think they're that great. I really don't. Did you say Purdy's playing or not? I think it cut out.
It's up in the air. He practiced in a limited capacity on Wednesday.
Capacity, okay.
I would say he will. I mean,
well,
I don't know.
That probably makes you feel a little bit better over Mac, but In saying so, regardless, I think I'm going to take the Niners to win this game 28-27. It's going to be weird. It's NFC West football, It's going to be kind of wild and sloppy, I think.
For sure. Okay, we'll keep it moving, guys. Sunday Night Football, Kansas City at the Giants. The G-Men, little cross-conference battle. The Chiefs 0-2 for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, but a 6-point favorite. Kind of, I'm not saying there could be a couple games that would be easier, but all told, you're happy to have this one on the schedule with your back more or less against the wall. And what I like is, there's a lot of things with Baltimore next week on the Chiefs' schedule. There's a lot of makings of a trap game. And this is a losable game, no question. But being that it's Sunday Night Football, I think that will kind of undercut any opportunity of them, sleepwalking, because they are the standalone game. They'll be pumped up about that. And we'll just see. I mean, for me...
Is Worthy playing?
He is tracking to play. There's still a chance that he won't, but he's tracking to play. I think if he does, it'll be more of like a pitch count thing. Just try to kind of ease him in, see how he responds to contact and that sort of thing. But they desperately miss not just him, obviously Rice too. And the whole issue is, as we can see, they can't run the football right now. And if they had those two guys to kind of balance the offense out and give them options for yak, for screens, for sweeps, for quick passes, even deep passes, it would kind of help open things up, I believe. It would help the running game, but they don't have those guys right now. And so, I'm not expecting the switch to flip on Sunday night and then to just all of a sudden start lighting up a Giants defense that has a ton of talent on it. If anything, I'm kind of concerned about Patrick taking hits because this defensive line is for real. But I know how this team will respond in this situation. They need a win. They're going to get a win. I've got it a score of 24-16. It's not going to be pretty necessarily, but it's just survival mode right now until they can kind of get the ammunition back in the holster. And we'll just see what happens from there. That's kind of how I'm looking at it, Matt.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with a lot of that analysis. Look, here's the thing. Kansas City's not looking good, right? 0-2. People are like, what's up with Patrick Mahomes? This team doesn't have the weapons anymore. And look, I get the sentiment. I get people wanting to write them off. Patrick's played pretty decent ball, I think, all things considered. He's been given some tough hands to be played to deal. And I think he's going to figure it out. He's going to get things done. And the team's going to just get things right enough. And if Worthy's back, cool. I think they'll definitely get the ship righted quite a bit in that regard. I don't think this is an easy game by any means whatsoever, but I think people are losing sight of the fact that the Chiefs very well could have won both of those ball games if just one play breaks differently. So I think they're going to get it done here in the Sunday night slot. And give me the Chiefs to win this game 27-17.
Yeah, I really think that the Steelers and Chiefs are somewhat in a similar spot in terms of their offense kind of being in a stalling point for the time being. Steelers are kind of short on receivers if Metcalf is covered up. Not really much time to throw, and the running game's just non-existent. And I think that regardless of who Kansas City has in the game at receiver, there's no fucking way that they're going 0-3 and losing to the Giants. Sexy Dexy. I know that he is a current player on that New York, one of the players on that defensive front. And Chiefs are going to have to give Mahomes some time. But I think whenever Rashee Rice and Worthy get back, and Thornton, once that deep threat is there, I think that'll help open the run game for Kansas City. But I still think that they obviously do enough to get it done. Kansas City wins 21-19.
Thank God, boy.
I can definitely see it. I can, and really the only reason I'm as confident as I am is I've seen, um, like I feel like Russell Wilson. This isn't the kind of defense that he thrives against necessarily. I think he'll get sacked a fair bit. The blitzes. He won't get rid of the ball fast enough, and I think that's where we'll be able to win the game primarily. But all right, last one, Monday Nighter, boys. This is a good one, especially after how the Lions bounced back in week 2. Now they take the show on the road to Baltimore, and the Ravens are a 4.5-point favorite. Both teams 1-1. Both teams week 1, I think, were very disappointed in their performance, but they bounced back in a major way and dominated division rivals. And so possibilities are kind of endless, Bass Daddy. What do you think as you look ahead to this one?
I think that the game that Detroit just had, the success that they just had against the piss poor Chicago team, they were at home. I'm not trying to discredit them for anything. It was great. But after you look that way against the Green Bay Packers, a pretty decent team, I'm thinking about that more than I'm thinking about their previous success here. And they are playing another great team. This is another Green Bay. It's another road game. Baltimore, they're playing great football, and when it comes down to it, they're going to be trading a lot of blows. It's going to be high scoring. But when it comes to trading blows, I think that I feel like Baltimore will be able to get. Detroit has the worst defense out of the two, so I think that gives Baltimore the upper edge, and obviously being at home, but managing the clock is a really big deal, and that's something um, that Dan Campbell has proven to be at complete fucking dog shit at in the past. So I think Harbaugh's got that advantage there. But I think they just get the last answer, the last blow, 37-29. They get it done.
Hammer that over, brother. Yeah, no, this is great. This is a great game. Monday Night Football, man. They're kind of getting a pretty decent slate, I would say, in this season. Especially this game right here. I was a little worried about Detroit after week 1. I was like, maybe without their coordinators, they're not so great. And here, the thing is, we don't know for sure yet. Anyway, they did play Chicago, and which I'm writing off as one of the worst teams in the league at this point. I got that wrong last week. My apologies. Yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a matchup. Lamar Jackson keeps cruising. The Ravens are looking pretty good on all facets of the ball. I think the real question mark that's going to be the real X factor in this game: can Ed Reed keep Calvin Johnson from blowing the top off this defense? I'm kidding. Sorry. Call back, listeners. If you're only watching this part of the clip that was from an early part of the episode, you got to go back and listen to the rest. It's a joke. I'm sorry, Bass. I had to do it. High scoring affair, down to the wire. Give me Lamar Jackson getting it done at the end. 33-30. The Baltimore Ravens win.
Guys, I hope you are more correct in terms of like your games sound much more exciting. And Bass Daddy, you kind of lean this way in a sense. I'm just a little worried about Detroit going up against another great team, and my thought is, yeah, I think their defense can, keep it competitive for a while, but any team or defense, I should say, that Jared Goff and company go up against this year who can get pressure, specifically through the middle, which I believe Baltimore is capable of, I think they're going to pose major problems. And it'll be a situation where Goff just can't really get comfortable back there, which is what happened against the Packers. Being on the road Monday night, I think he is going to be uncomfortable. And that's why I'm picking the Ravens to win 33-20. Now, maybe that's a touchdown at the end that makes it look worse than it is. But either way, I just don't think it's one that's ever going to be in real doubt. And I hope I'm wrong. It would be much better for AFC fans like ourselves, especially you, Basta, it'd be much better for the Lions to win. But I don't personally see it happening.
Let's go Lions. Let's just go all in, boys. Let's Lions fans for the night.
We'll all be Lions Monday night, at least as it pertains. What's that,
Matt? That reminded me. Have you guys seen the clip? I don't know. It randomly popped up on Twitter where this guy's on the subway and he just gets on his belly and he starts inching around like a worm and he basically does what you guys just did. He's like, and he's freaking a bunch of people out. You haven't seen that? I'll have to stitch that. You guys will enjoy that video.
Yeah, need to see that.
Drugs are bad, brother.
Very much so.
Anyway, okay. Well, that we got to the end. If you made it this far, as I've always told you in the past, thank you very much. Congrats on the picks, and let's enjoy another weekend of football, maybe a little college ball sprinkled in there if you've got time for that or if that's your thing, but especially our NFL. For worst to first, until next week, take care, have a great weekend, and enjoy.
Stay horny.
Yeah.
Fresh,